We all have to be comfortable with failing. Instead of just being like, "Oh, I don't want to look like an idiot." Why do we get so scared to fail? That's my question to you. I am taking you on a journey of revival in my life and the life of others in hope that your life will be revived in the process. All right, so we're back with another podcast episode, and today we will be talking about failing forward. So what does that mean? That means like we are in a place where we're going out there, we're trying new things, and we're messing up. But the mess ups aren't the things that are holding us back, right? The mess ups are the things that are pushing us forward and allowing us to honestly be able to accomplish more because we're learning from those failures. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the more you learn, the more you grow. And if you can continuously grow, then it allows you to improve each and every time. So we're going to talk about that a little more when we get back from thanking our sponsors. Have you wanted to make a podcast but didn't know how to get started? That was me until I found Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That is ANCHOR.FM to get started now. So many people want to start a business but don't know how. Our mission is to help you discover and live your passion by architecting a profitable business that delivers incredible value to the market and profits to you. Step one is to discover. You're going to work with a coach one-on-one to discover what has held you back until now. You're going to set new goals and explore suitable opportunities to design and finance the lifestyle you want. There's going to be 3 different avenues you can go down. The first one is direct sales and affiliate marketing, where you can get paid $30 to $3,000 per sale in commissions. The second avenue is lead generation for businesses, where you can learn how to start your own agency and deliver targeted leads to hungry businesses. You will get paid $2,500 to $5,000 per month per paying client. And the third thing is to earn 100% passive income. And you can do this by investing into a done-for-you, hands-off e-commerce store managed by us. Step 2 is commit. With the help of your coach, you can choose the path that is most aligned with what you want to do. Step 3 is train. In addition to step-by-step training inside the custom ACE marketing sales system, you'll get personal mentorship from your sponsor and team leader, Facebook mastermind support groups, multiple live weekly calls, and live events all over the world. Step 4 is to succeed. Phase 1 is to earn revenue. Build a digital business that supplements your current income and gives you breathing room. Phase 2 is growing wealth. Create multiple streams of revenue. Transition to a full-time entrepreneur with security. And phase 3 is investment on investment. Bills paid, debt-free, and your money is making more money while you enjoy time freedom. If this interests you, go to therevivalcouple.com to get started now. You'll need to put in your name and email address to get access to your free web class now. That is TheRevivalcouple.com to get started now. All right, so today we're talking about failing forward, and I'm just going to jump into a story for you. So the first story that comes to mind is when we are all kids, right? And the reason I think about this is because I do have a 1.5-year-old and a 1 month old at the house, my son and my daughter. But going from crawling to walking is the craziest thing in a baby's life. And I think in all of our lives, to be honest. So as kids, we are going to walk eventually. But that moment where you go from crawling to walking is really a crazy, crazy point. Because if you think about it, like so many of us now, we're so scared. We're so worried about losing or failing or not succeeding in something that we won't even take action, right? And if we had that same mentality as a child, we would probably never crawl. We would probably never walk. We would probably never end up talking, right? But as a child, we're not worried about that. And as parents, we're not worried about that either. The craziest thing, right, is when your baby gets up or when you get up as a baby and you go for that first step. Usually you may take that first step, right? You're going to take that first step, but then you're eventually going to fall. And now what happens when you fall? Do the parents cheer you on to keep going, to get back up, to take another step? Or do the parents just stay there and pretty much bash you for falling down, be like, oh, you never actually walked. Like you took one step. Like, what the heck are you doing, baby? Right? No one's going to say that. But yet as adults, we treat ourselves in that way, right? We go into something that is brand new to us. We don't do it right. We mess up. We screw up. And since we screw up, we just literally stop doing it altogether. Why? Because we think that not doing good enough the first time is enough to stop us from doing that thing over and over again and improving at it. Let's go back to when you first learned how to ride a bike. I'm assuming that you do know how to ride a bike. If you don't, I'm sorry. You can still learn. It may be more painful if you fall now than, if you fell when you're a kid. Because, I don't know. When we're kids, we just get back up and things that probably would hurt us a lot more when we're older don't hurt as bad when we're younger. And so with that, when you're riding a bike, you're going, you have the training wheels on, which is a prime example of all of us starting anything, whether that's a business, whether that's working out, whether that's eating healthy. You start off usually not at a very fast pace. You don't just jump into it and jump into the water. Like when you're learning how to swim, usually you learn how to do things slowly and you become more proficient, and then you get better over time. There are some people, I heard some friends who had Hawaiian parents. They said that they would just throw them in the water and they'd have to learn how to swim. And that was kind of how they got trained. But usually we don't learn that way. Not with riding bikes, not with anything. So you start off with training wheels, and then from that point where you have training wheels, you progress to riding a bike all by yourself. And usually when you first start riding your bike, you will fall. It's guaranteed. It's almost something you cannot get past, is falling. So you're riding your bike, and then you're like, oh shoot, I gotta stop. And that's usually the hard part is stopping. You're going, but you don't know how to stop. Usually that ends up in you falling down. Of course, your parents are cheering you on prior to you falling down, but inevitably you're going to fall. Now, what you do after falling off that bike is a huge, moment in your life where it can make or break you. You could either stay off that bike and you could choose to never get on it again because it hurt. Because now you're scared to get back on that bike. Because now you're worried that you may fall off again. And if you do fall off, it's going to hurt. You know it's going to hurt. And so you're a little scared to do it again. Just like everything in life, specifically for me, entrepreneurship was a big part. I mean, the military also was a big part where I learned a lot of things. And I learned that, some things are going to suck. And Some things are going to suck more than other things. And whether I'm scared or not, I still got to do it. It's either do it or quit and give up and never actually earn the title Marine. And so with that, I just tell you those stories to paint a picture that like at some point we all will fail. And it's funny because we're so used to failing at a young age. We're so used to, having that be kind of a normal thing that we just overcome, that it surprises the heck out of me that when we get older, we just think we're going to be perfect at everything. Or if we're failing, then we're doing something wrong. That is what is just completely amazing to me. Because how do we go from this mindset of we have to fall down and get back up, fall down and get back up, fall down and get back up again, to be able to improve and get better and to learn how to do it more efficiently? Right? We go from that mindset to being an adult and being too scared to fail at all. And if we fail, then that means we are doing something wrong. So I'm going to get into my story a little bit. At 18, I actually started a business, my first business. Of course, what was it? It was a multi-level marketing business, right? It's kind of funny because that's usually like the first thing that you will get introduced to you if you're someone who's an entrepreneur and you're someone who wants to be like self-sufficient and someone who wants to run something and know that you're called to something more. So I started that and I learned a lot of good skills from it. I'm not bashing those companies because, to be honest, you can make money through any company. And can you do it full time and make a lot of money? Yes, but you do have to put in a lot of effort. You have to put in a lot of time, and you cannot underestimate, the amount of work that you actually have to do. And anything in life, anything good takes time. And that is, something that you just have to learn. And so I started there and I started learning certain skill sets and I started learning multiple different things. And that is when I really started failing. I tried to sell things weren't working, and I failed. And I failed again, and I kept failing. I kept getting back up though. And so eventually it came to a point where it was like, I'm not making any money, or I was making a little bit of money, but I wasn't making nowhere near enough money to even stop working my current job. And so I stopped doing that business. And what was I doing? I was searching. I was still searching for other opportunities to be able to be self-sufficient because, at the end of the day, I wanted to play music full time. I wanted to be a musician, or at least try to be, or worship leader in a church. Like, that's what I was striving for. But the problem with that is that if you need to actually make like income, if you actually want to make money, it's very, very hard to do that through music, right? You're either going all in and you're just hoping to be really good, or you're probably not going to get paid more than $20,000 to $40,000 a year. And so that was something I was worried about. That was something I was really concerned about, because if I threw all my eggs into this one basket and it didn't pan out, then I was going to be screwed for a really, really long time. And not even going into the fact that, like, if I were to have to take out money for school, that would make it even harder. And so at that point, of course, that's when I went into the military, because I did not know what I wanted to do, but I knew I did not want to get into thousands of dollars in debt for something that may work. And even if it did work, it may take 5 years to make more than $30,000 a year. Which may seem okay for a single person, but inevitably, I knew I was not going to be single forever. I knew I wanted to get married. I knew I wanted to have a family. And so I was looking ahead. And I kept going back to these businesses that I was doing before. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm just not doing enough. Maybe I'm just not the one who is good enough and I just need to become better. Later on, I found that there are multiple different ways to do business. Of course, you can go through companies that are multi-level marketing, or you can go through different companies where you can sell different things online, and you can do it in a way that doesn't really make you have to sell to local family and friends and feel like you are just trying to get someone into your thing. And so that was, something good that I found. But when I got into this thing, into the new business that I'm currently doing to this day, I still sucked. I still sucked at selling things. I still sucked at talking to people. I still sucked at, I was really bad at making ads and advertisement videos and ad copywriting and all that stuff because I never did it before. And so, the thing I was not scared of was failing because I understood that no matter what has happened, no matter how good I was right now or how horrible I was right now, that if I looked back to when I was 18 to where I am now, I could see that there was a significant growth between that time. It didn't matter whether I was in a multi-level marketing company or whether I was working at a bank or whether I was working at a pet store, whether I was working at an armored car company and then going into the Marine Corps and all that stuff. Like I could see the progression from all those years. And the reason I think I saw the most progression was because I was not afraid to get back up and keep trying. I knew that eventually I was going to find the thing that was going to allow me a lot more time to be able to do the things I wanted to do. And so I wasn't scared of failing, but I was worried about being hurt from putting in so much effort like I did numerous times and did not get the results that I was striving for. And so that was the biggest problem I faced, was that I was unsure about how bad it was going to hurt if I failed this time, or it was worrisome not knowing how long it was going to take to be able to get the results I was striving for. And so that was very, very hard. And like on the inside, like inside me, I knew that I needed to keep going because no matter what happened, I could not live the same way of life for the past however many years, 5 to 7 years, right? I couldn't do that for the next 20 to 30 years to be able to start living the life that I want. And so I came into this issue where it was like, I'm not good enough. I keep failing, right? I keep putting myself out there. I keep creating stuff. I keep not doing anything right. And so I really just dug deep and I invested more into myself. I said, okay, well, if it's not going the way I want it to, it means I'm not doing it the way I should be doing it. If I can look at this person and they're getting sales, they're getting leads, they're getting conversions into their ad, into their business, then what are they doing that I'm not doing? And so I literally started throwing out more money towards courses. Literally any course I could get into, I would get into, and I would just do personal development. I'd read books. I'd write down strategies. I have this whiteboard behind me, and it's still got strategies over there. There's multiple different things that I needed to do, and I've done them, and I failed horribly. But each time I get a little bit better, and each time it leads to more and more business, and it leads to a lot more proficiency. For an example, if you go on facebook.com/the revival couple, go there and watch my video from 2 years ago. I would say like 2017, my first video that I made for the Revival Couple page. It might have even been 2018, whenever it was. Watch that first video and see how horrible it was. The lighting, see how like bad it was for me to try to get my point across. Look at my eyes. Am I making any eye contact to the camera? Probably not. And so just looking at that and just seeing it, it shows me that it does not matter how good you are now. What matters is that you are doing something over and over again, whether you fail or not. So many times I wanted to just delete my videos and move on, but I realized that we all have a story. We all start somewhere. If you look at Bill Gates, if you look at Steve Jobs, if you look at all these people, they did not start off as being amazing entrepreneurs, right? They didn't just start off really good. They screwed up along the way. Even the owner of Amazon, like he was not perfect. It took him a long time to be as successful as he is right now. And so with that, it shows you that we all have a starting point. We all have a place that we have to get past. Once you fail and fail and fail again, right? You just keep failing. You're going to learn and you're going to figure out the things that don't work. You're going to realize, okay, I've been down this road before and this thing clearly doesn't work. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, go about it this way. And once you figure out the solution on certain areas, you can apply that to different places in your life. Like it's very good to be able to fail in those areas because it allows you to know what works and what doesn't work. As we are kids and as we are like just adults and people, right? How many times do we have someone who, especially when we're teenagers, they tell us, hey, you should probably not do this because it's not in your best interest. Don't be drinking underage. Don't be smoking. You're going to fry your brain. You're going to stunt your growth. You're going to have all these things happen to you, right? And how many of us really listen to that crap? I don't think we listen to it at all until we do something and then we see the effect from it. Once we see, oh, wow, that really negatively affects my life. Therefore, I probably shouldn't be doing this. That was for me when, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like I've smoked marijuana before. And, with doing that, a lot of people were like, oh, don't do it because it's a gateway drug and it's not good for you. And, it's just bad all the way around. Right. And it was like, yeah, whatever, like you're just saying it because you don't want me to have a good time. Right. And then you do it. And at least for myself, when I was in school and I started, I noticed that my grades declined, that my motivation for doing certain things were not there as much as they were before. I started getting depressed more. It was like, yeah, it was using it more as an escape rather than something to just do for fun. And so you realize the effects of it and how much that can negatively impact your life. And I'm not saying it does for everyone, the same way, but like, it's like a kid when you tell them, hey, don't touch that stove, it's hot, right? They don't understand that hot means it's going to burn them, that it's going to hurt them, that it's going to be something not fun. I've told my kids multiple times, or at least my son, hey, like, watch out, because he's sitting by the edge of the couch. And there's been times where he slips and falls off. The moment he falls off, though, he realizes, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. And it actually clicks because there was pain there. In our lives, I feel like the way that we learn the best is if we, go through the problems ourselves. Once we realize, oh, wow, that is painful. That does suck. That is not beneficial for my life. And I don't want it because I firsthand seen that this is not good. Once we see that, then it's like it clicks so much more, and it actually shows us that that is something we don't want in our lives. And so failing forward is something that we all have to do. We all have to be comfortable with failing. Instead of just being like, oh, I don't want to look like an idiot. Why do we get so scared to fail? That's my question to you. For me personally, I think the reason why we get so scared is because we value other people's opinions a little too much. Like if you are going to get into a business and then you're going to fail and you're going to look like an idiot, right? The only thing that is scary to you is what your buddies to the left and right of you are saying about you. Oh, we told you that was never going to work. Like, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. Like, oh, yeah, we told you you're never going to make it. Oh, that's a one in a million shot, right? How many people do we we give them too much say into our life, therefore we aren't doing the things we want to do. It's like when you live your life and your parents want you to do a specific thing. If that's not in your value system, if my parents are like, oh, we want you to play sports, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather play music and, get into something else. If I just go down the road to play sports, and just because they want me to do that, then it's going to make me resent my parents. It's going to make me be upset because I'm not actually doing what I want to do. It's going to bring the happiness aspect in my life is not going to be there anymore. I'm going to be depressed. I'm going to be upset, and I'm going to be just pretty mad, pretty upset at my parents because they made me do something that I don't want to do. It's our lives. I'm not saying be a jerk to those around you. I'm not saying be rude, be mean. But what we should do is check in. We should check in with ourselves and be like, hey, does this align with my calling? Does this align with my purpose? Does this align with where I want to go in the next 2 to 3 years? Because either way, whether someone else looks at me funny, whether someone else thinks I'm an idiot, whether someone else tries to tell me that I'm making the wrong decision, my life is ultimately going to be my life. And your life is going to be your life as well. We need to stop being worried about what they will think. Because just because you fail the first time doesn't mean you're going to fail every time. You're going to learn from those failures. As long as you put enough skin into the game, as long as you are willing to do it consistently to improve. Like me, I've been shooting live videos every single day for over a year. It's almost been a year and a half that I've been doing it. And I still feel like I could improve more. I'm not perfect. I'm not even that great at shooting videos or running ads. And I've been doing it for some time. So if that's the case, then it should show you that it's okay to do something for a long time and not be where you think you should be at. You'll learn along the way. Every time you fail, you learn. Every time you learn, you grow. Each time you grow, it allows you the opportunity to get better and to improve on that area in your life. So I realized that failing was the only way to success and literally would be the only way for me to start living the life of my dreams. The reason why is because to sit around and to only think about everyone else and how if I please them, like, then that's the most important thing, that will lead to depression. It will lead to more anxiety. It will lead into hatred towards those people and resentment. And then once you are, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, and you're looking back, you'll regret not taking those risks and those chances now when you had, more time to do it. You'll just sit there and regret and be upset because you weren't able to make more of the thing that you wanted to do. The hard part with failing forward is the hurting aspect. It does hurt. It hurts quite a bit to fail. You feel like an idiot. You feel like you don't want to let anyone know that you're failing. You just want to show everyone the best side. I think that's the reason why, is because of social media. A lot of us, we go on there, we try to fluff up what we're doing. We try to fluff up all our stuff and act like we're probably the most perfect people with no faults, no flaws. But that's not true. That could be the farthest thing from the truth. We are all people. We all make mistakes. We all screw up. But screwing up is not the worst thing. It is honestly the best thing that you can do. The more you become uncomfortable, the better you will be in the long run. If you can continuously make yourself uncomfortable doing things that you're not good at, then you will slowly start to improve on those things. You don't want to be a one-trick pony. You want to be able to do multiple things in an excellent way. What is better of a way to do that than to go out there, screw up, fall flat on your face, get up and do it again? When I think of it, it's like skateboarding. I would skateboard when I was younger, when I was in middle school, and I could do some tricks. I could ollie, I could kick flip, I could do a 180 kick flip. Like, I could do some pretty cool stuff. But to be able to like do those things, I had to fall on my butt so many times. I had to literally eat crap so many times, and it was not fun. And I'm telling you this because it's not going to be fun. But if you can learn that falling on your face is the first step to being able to do it flawlessly in the future, then why would we be so scared of making that first step, making that first face plant into the ground? Like, we should not be scared. We should not be worried, because that is the first thing that has to happen before we can achieve more in our lives. So since doing that, it's led me to where I am now. I'm taking bigger risks. I'm literally making a YouTube video once a week. I'm making a podcast at least once a week. And I'm making a Facebook video on my business page every day. And now I'm striving to do even more than that and make some posts on my personal page a lot more consistently. The reason I do this is because I want to grow. I want to improve. And I understand the importance of failing forward. It's allowed me to show to the world that I am not perfect, that I am a human, that I screw up, and that it's okay. There's nothing better than failing and letting someone else know that I failed, so that they can understand that it's okay that they aren't where they want to be yet. None of us are supposed to be perfect. It's what we do from now and on, right? Like from now to the next month, to the next 6 months, to the next year, to 2 years, to 5 years. It's how much we put ourselves out there and allow ourselves to fail, but learn from those failures each and every day. That will ultimately get us to a place where we can be better. We can improve in so many different areas of our life. And if you think I'm lying to you, go on your Facebook page, make a video. I would say like a 5-minute video every single day for a year, and look back from the first video that you started making all the way until a year from then, and tell me whether you improved or not from the first time you shot that video. It's not about how much you practice. It's not about how much knowledge you get. It's not about how prepared you are to make that video, because until you pull out your phone, right? Until you start shooting the video, until you start talking and looking at the camera, until you start doing those things that are uncomfortable, those things that make you feel silly, that make you feel stupid, that make you question yourself and be like, why am I even posting this? Because this is god awful, right? This is so garbage that literally no one's going to watch it, but post it anyways and keep doing it for a year. Look back and I can guarantee 100%, I can guarantee that you will be better in 365 days later than you were the first day. Now, what does that take? It takes consistency, and it takes persistency, and it takes the willingness to get up and do it whether you want to do it or not. And if you can commit to those things, I can guarantee you will see the results. And once you learn that the way to become better or more efficient or more proficient at something is not going to be to practice in the mirror. It's not going to be to get all the knowledge you can in the world. It's going to be taking action and doing the thing over and over, looking stupid, looking dumb, feeling like an idiot again. Oh, it sounds a little better. Wow, that one was actually not too bad. Feeling like an idiot again. Oh, I wasn't looking at the camera. Oh crap, I didn't turn on my audio, and so now I got a video where I'm talking and you can't hear anything, right? And so, like, there are so many things that we try to do to overcome failing, but in reality, the one thing we need to do is fail more. All right, guys, so this concludes this podcast episode. If you liked it, definitely drop a like down below. If you think someone else will find value from it, share it, because it makes me smile like I am right now. As always, let's go out there. Let's revive our lives together. Let's get it done. And until the next podcast episode, have a good one.